can start on our backs and bend the knees and have the feet about hip width apart. And you can rest your arms on the ground, or if you like, putting one on your belly and one on your chest to encourage your breath to be full. Feel free. I invite you to close your eyes. And if you don't like to close your eyes, then maybe just lower your lids and keep your gaze fixed. Bringing your focus inward. Maybe feeling the weight of your back on the ground. And then just lifting your awareness up from that point of contact to the space inside you, where you can most easily feel the breath. Or maybe if you feel it somewhere else, you can keep your awareness there. Some people feel it easiest in the nose. See what's best for you. Inviting the breath to be really full so that it fills your whole body. Let the exhale be slow, long, and complete. Take your time with the inhale, especially. You can get to a place where it might feel like, oh yeah, that's a full breath. And yet if you stay with it and keep slowly taking more in, you'll notice there is more room. There's more breath to be had. And then that extra breath that you bring in, you kind of clear out more space in your body. Free yourself up. Open yourself up. Release more of the clutter. And then we'll all bring the hands alongside the body if they're not already there. Palms will be down. And the feet are under the knees, hip width apart. We'll inhale and lift the hips up. Press the backs of the arms down. Exhale, slowly lower. And inhale up. Exhale, lower down. Now you can continue like that, or if you'd like to add a little bit more to work the core, the inhale is the same, and the exhale is a lift of the feet, of the arms, of the head, and then the inhale is the same. Or if you want to make the inhale a little bit harder as well, then instead of the arms being down, they can be up. Just slightly different. And then back to your crunch where the feet are at the height of the knees. But really feel into what's going to work for you. You can just come up and down. Another thing you can try is on the inhale, you can bring the arms all the way overhead. That might feel nice. I find that when I bring my arms overhead and reach out of my hands, it encourages me to take an even longer breath. But see what works for you. Let's do 2 more. And then when you're complete, release down. Just breathing deep and slow again. And then bring the legs straight up in the air. If that's hard or impossible, you can bring your hands under your back. And again, I'll give you a couple of options. You can stay here. This is really nice for the circulation. And if you're feeling like a more gentle, restful practice, then just stay here. If, again, you're wanting to work more of your core strength, then we're going to scissor the legs up and down, as fast as you can. And keep breathing slowly. So even though the movement is quick, can you keep a slow, steady, mindful breath? Last one. And hug the knees in. Nice. Maybe just gently turn your head from side to side. Notice if your breath became more shallow or more rapid, and reestablish the slow, long breath, moving with your head. Good. Now, return the legs to that right angle position. And we'll lift the head. And again, if you're struggling today, you're having some fatigue or some pain that makes this not viable for you, you can try doing it with your head on the ground. You'll see, you'll just be kind of going side to side like that. Otherwise, we're going to lift And we're going to reach from side to side, extending through one arm, coming center, extending through the other arm. Inhaling center, exhaling, reaching. Inhaling center, exhaling, reaching. If you want to work harder, then when you reach, lower the opposite leg to straight. So reach left, lower right, center. Reach right, lower left. It doesn't come all the way to the ground. Let's do one more on each side. And then hug the knees in again. Turn the head again. All the way over. Okay, now we're going to rock lengthwise on our spine, and we're going to come all the way up to standing. So planting the feet a little wider than hip width apart is a good kind of, I don't know, way to make it a little easier. And see if you can do it without your hands, just the momentum of the rocking. You come to stand. And you'll have your feet hip width apart. Let's roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and turn the palms to face forward. Feel the breath in the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Now we're going to warm up the spine, and we're going to be moving rapidly. But again, if rapid movement is not speaking to you today, if you're not up for it and you still want to have the benefit of the spinal warm up, just go slowly. Listen to yourself. So basically the movement is the palms up, the chest up, the head back, the fingers reach back on the inhale, and then on the exhale, all the way over. So you can do it like that. If you're doing the slower, more gentle movement, you can also bend the knees and fold that way and roll up softly. And if you're going to do the more vigorous, enlivening movement, it's rapid like this. Whatever version you're doing, hopefully you're joining me by now. Drop your head all the way at the bottom. I find it's helpful to keep my eyes open because then I can reach my eyes back, which helps deepen that part of the motion. And then I can look past my legs behind me to help me drop my head for that part of the motion. But you're welcome to do it with your eyes closed. Should feel yourself maybe getting warmer now on this cold day. Almost there. Keep going. You got this. Two more. Last one. And come to stillness. Maybe closing the eyes and taking in the sensations. Slowing down the breath. Feeling the feet grounded. The head lifted. Shoulders relaxed. Belly soft. Good. Now step to the front of your mat. We'll do some sun salutations. We should tell the sun how thankful we are that it's out today and bow to it. So we start with the hands together at the heart, Anjali Mudra. And with an inhale, we lift, bend back a little, lift the gaze, exhale, and fold, fold. Bring the hands to the ground, bend the knees, step the right foot all the way back, lift the chest, lift the gaze. And then exhale, step the left foot back, coming into plank and lowering either to the ground or hovering just above the ground. Inhale, rolling to the tops of the feet if you were above the ground, or just pushing into the hands, lifting the chest. Exhale, curl the toes, push back with the hands. And inhale, step the right foot up between the hands. Help it if it doesn't come all the way. Exhale, step the left foot up and fold. Inhale all the way up. Lift the heart, lift the gaze, lean back. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Again, inhale. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, step the left foot back. Runner's lunge. Exhale, step the right foot back. Plank and lower. Inhale, either cobra with the hips on the ground or upward dog with the hips off the ground. And exhale, downward dog, pushing into the hands, sending the hips back. Inhale, left foot steps up. Runner's lunge. Exhale, right foot steps up and fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale the hands together at the heart and stay here for a moment. Feel your body, feel your breath. Now, notice if your breath and your movements have been able to coordinate with each other. The movement doesn't need to get faster. The breath needs to get slower to make that happen. So one of the easiest ways to slow down the breath is to invoke the Ujjayi breath through the back of the throat, making the sound of a heater. And the inhale and the exhale are both going through a narrowed passage at the back of the throat. So there's kind of like a sucking there. And that just, it's like the difference between drinking through a straw or drinking through a glass, or even drinking through a straw that's been pinched. That's maybe the best analogy. You're really like pulling it in through this narrow passageway, and that's what makes it slow. It has all sorts of other incredible benefits that I won't get into now, but functionally, it serves us to slow the breath down and help us coordinate the breathing with the movement. So if you aren't already doing that for the last round, let's try it this round. Starting with a little bit of Ujjayi breathing on its own. I'm going to get nice and close so you can hear the sound. If you're feeling vibration in your nasal passage, then you're not breathing through the bottom of your throat. Now, also, every time we open the body, we want to be inhaling, and every time we release or fold, we want to be exhaling. So even if you take 2 or 3 breaths, still see if you can coordinate that way so that you are inhaling into openness and exhaling into release. Okay? Let's begin again. Inhaling up, exhaling forward. Inhale, right foot back, chest up. Exhale, left foot back, lowering down. Inhaling, chest open. Exhaling, hips up and back. Inhaling, right foot forward. Exhaling, left foot forward, fold. Inhaling up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Inhaling, left foot back. Exhaling, right foot back and down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhaling up. Exhaling, hands to the heart. We'll go again and we'll add some poses. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale, right foot back. Hold the foot there. And come up. Let's actually lock the thumbs. Venus lock. Fingers spread wide. We pull the thumbs apart and send the arms back. Open the shoulders and the chest. Sink the hips down. Press the heel back. Bring the tailbone under. Maybe take the gaze up. Good. Bring the back heel onto the ground, rotating your belly to the right, and bring the arms out to the side. And then send the hips open. So check to see that your left knee is lined up with your third toe. You don't want it to be collapsing inside. We really want to spread these inner thighs, and maybe even energetically rotate the thighs from the inside to the outside, tucking the tailbone under. Relax the shoulders down, gaze past your left hand. Feel both feet solidly on the ground, weight evenly distributed between both feet, and sink your hips down even lower. Breathe even deeper. Beautiful. Left forearm onto the left thigh, index finger to thumb, right arm overhead, side angle pose, gazing up. And if your neck is hurting there, gaze down. Push back into your right foot and out through your right fingers and feel the length from foot to hand and breathe into it long and slow. Feel wherever it might be tight. For me, like right around the hip, just above it, at the waist. When I breathe deeply, I can feel that starting to open a little more. What do you feel in your body? Good. On your next exhale, come down, plank, lower. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Back heel stays off the ground. Lift yourself up. Now, however you want to interlace your thumbs, do it the opposite way. It should feel a little awkward. Good. Push back through your heel and lower your hips. And then press your tailbone forward. Aim it for your right knee. Pull your hands apart. Lift your chest. Lift the gaze if you can. Feel the breath coming up under the ribs, which are nice and open. Beautiful. Back heel on the ground. Arms out, shoulder height. Check in. It's very common in this pose, Warrior Two, to see people leaning forward. And so one of the ways to combat that is to just feel into the balance of weight in your feet. If you're leaning forward, your right foot is going to feel a little more weight. So bring the weight evenly into both feet, and then you'll be hopefully in the center of your posture. And then again, externally rotate those thighs, drop the hips, relax the shoulders, take the gaze out past your hands so that we're looking toward the future without leaning into it. It's really such a great metaphor that we always want to be present and fully grounded where we are, even while looking to where we want to be. Beautiful. Right forearm comes down, that index finger and thumb join. The left arm reaches overhead, the gaze turns up. We push back into the left foot, extend out through the left hand. Good. Gaze can come down if the neck needs that instead. Streaming the breath long through the side body. On your next exhale, bring the hands down, step the foot forward and fold all on your exhale, or take two if you need. And then inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. We'll go right into the next side. Inhaling up. Exhaling full. Inhale, left foot steps back. And then we're actually going to take the foot a little bit forward So not as far back as a runner's lunge. First we step back into lunge and then we take it forward. And then we straighten the front leg. Maybe your hands can no longer touch the ground. That's fine. It just challenges your balance. If you have something handy that you want to rest your hands on for balance, great. Otherwise, maybe you can just rest your hands on your leg if they don't touch the ground. Bending forward. And try to pull back the right hip. And then on your next exhale, scoop the navel in and up and see if you can release the weight of your torso over your leg even more. Pushing into the front foot to press that hip back. Good. And now we're going to take it into a standing split, walking the hands forward until you're balanced on two hands and one leg, and then lift the left leg up. If you want to challenge your balance even more, then maybe you can bring your left hand to the back of your right leg. Lengthen and deepen your breath. Don't get so caught up in the doing that you forget the feeling. And actually feeling the breath and deepening the breath is going to help you in the doing. And then lower it slowly to the back of your mat. Exhale, come down into plank and toward the floor. And inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Exhale, bring your back foot forward a little more, straightening your front leg. Dropping your right hip. And folding over your leg. Pushing into the left foot, sending left hip back. Slow, long breaths. Exhale, belly in and up. Spine lengthening the knees. Over the breath. Okay, now front knee bends. Hands walked forward, making a tripod with the two hands and the foot for balance as we lift the right leg up and fold over the left leg. And again, you can try to come onto just one hand. Exhale, bring the foot down, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Let's just pause here. See if the breath is slow and calm. See if the body is calm. Sometimes the challenges of the body help to deepen our calm, that we become more centered, more focused. Our breathing rises to the occasion and deepens and slows. And sometimes it's quite the opposite. Sometimes we get lost and our breath gets shallow and we get stressed and we get into striving mode, and that's okay too. Just see, okay? This is where it is right now. This is what I'm practicing with. I'm picking up a violin and making screechy sounds maybe for a couple of years before it starts to come close to sounding pretty. It's a practice. Good. And let's release the hands down. Let's take the legs a little bit wider apart. The feet wider than the heels. Bending the knees. Take the arms out to the side and bend the elbows. And bring the elbows back so that you feel the shoulder blades moving in toward the spine. And we're actually just going to hold here in goddess pose, letting the shoulder blades keep releasing down the back, letting the tailbone keep releasing toward the ground. See what the mind is doing as the body starts to get tired. Do you get grumpy? What does the breath do? Does it help you? Does it not? Beautiful. Take the arms out to the side. Take the heels out as wide as the toes. Take a breath in. And then exhale, bring the left hand down and the right arm up. Gazing up at the thumb. Keep tucking that left rib cage under you. Rolling the chest up more. And then inhale back to your starting position. 5-pointed star. And exhale, right hand down, left arm up. Twisting at the waist. Right ribs coming under. Chest rolling up toward the sky. Breath deep and slow. Beautiful. Bring the left hand down and bring both hands under the shoulders, and then walk the hands back, keeping them shoulder width apart. Keep walking them back, and then turn the hands the other way, fingers pointing behind you. Press down into the feet, lift the thighs, lift the creases at the tops of the thighs, lift the sit bones. And then exhale, gently pull with your hands. The fingertips may be moving forward toward the feet. Take a slow, long breath. And I forgot to say, some of you might not be able to reach the hands to the floor. And if that's so, then the hands can come onto the legs and you use that. So either way will work for you. Also, if your hands are almost to the floor but not quite, and you want to get them there, even though there's no need to get them there, but if you feel like you'd like to, you can just step wider. The wider you step, the lower you are. Good. Is your head all the way dropped? Now walk the hands forward. Step the legs back, come into plank. We're going to come down into forearm plank and up into regular plank. And down into forearm plank and up into regular plank. And if that's just too much for you, you can stay in forearm plank. And if that's too much for you, you can stay in regular plank. And if that's too much for you, you can come into a modified plank with your knees on the ground. Let's do 2 more. And then hold plank, hold plank, hold plank. And then we're going to come into upward dog, rolling onto the tops of the feet, pressing into the hands, rolling the shoulders back, sending the back ribs under, the chest out, the eyes up, straighten the arms, lift higher away from the ground. Breathe more into the front of the body, which is already long and open, and we're going to open it even more with the breath. And then bring the knees down, send the hips back, and come into metta pose. Pressing forward with the hands, lengthening back through the hips. Streaming the breath through the back of the body. Notice where you feel it. Do your back ribs expand? Does your lower back breathe? What happens when your front body is impeded by this posture when you breathe deeply? Where does the breath go? Yeah. And lift the hips and spread the fingers, curl the toes, and come back into downward dog. Pushing forward with the hands. Press the chest toward the thighs, drop the head toward the ground, roll the shoulders in. Push the thighs back, press the heels down. And then we're going to walk the feet forward again. We're going to come into a bit of a squat. So, warning, this next posture is challenging, and most of you probably won't be able to do it without a lot of practice. Certainly, I practiced it a lot before I could do it. But the idea is to practice, to start to sow those seeds, and to also to practice staying concentrated in your breathing and slow and mindful while you're doing something challenging. And to really see if your mind gets cranky, if your breath gets forgotten, and really try to keep that connection between the breath, the mind, and what you're doing. And they all help each other. So we're going to take the legs nice and wide. Kind of wide enough so that when your hands rest on the ground, shoulder width apart, your elbows are at your inner thighs. Spread your fingers because it's going to be a hand balance, and so the bigger the surface, the easier the balance. Hopefully you're breathing deep and slow. And you really want to let your hips sink down so that you feel like the inner thighs are actually resting on the backs of the arms. So the elbows are bent in line with the wrists. And you should feel a bit of a stretch here in your inner thighs. That's good. And then we start to inch our legs out, 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 out. And you want to be leaning forward enough so that the elbows are lined up over the wrists. If they're not, it's not going to be doable. And then straighten your legs as much as you can. Push down into your hands and see if you can lift your legs off the ground. Breathe with it. Breathe with it. Breathe with it. Maybe try one leg. Try the other leg. Okay? Has that been enough fun for today? Let's come down onto the knees. Sit on the feet. Just take a moment, taking in what's now. Let's stretch the wrists out. So we fold the hands under and place the entire back of the hand on the ground, all the way to the wrist. And then if you want more of a stretch, just bring the hands forward, not to the point that the back of the hand needs to lift off the ground. Beautiful. And release the hands and just shake them out. Down, side to side, around. And we'll lift the seat, come onto the knees. We'll take a camel pose. I like to start with, let's bring the right hand onto the belly and the left hand onto the chest. Just breathe from belly to chest. And then we'll bring the right hand to the back heel, and if it doesn't reach, curl the toes under, and if it still doesn't reach, bring the hand to the hip. And then lean back, and then release the other hand to the heel. Drop the head back, bring the hips forward, lift the chest and the ribs up. Spread breath across the body. And then bring your left hand back to your belly. Turn your gaze to the right. Bring your right hand back to your heart. And then we'll reverse the curve of the spine. Come and sit on the heels. We're going to bring the crown of the head to the ground. So the hips will lift until you're on the top of your head. So not child's pose on your forehead, but tucking your chin and coming into the top of your head. Then the arms are on the outside of the thighs. Turn the palms to face out with the thumbs up. And then if you can, grab hold of your heels. If you don't reach your heels, grab what you can. Hold on to it, and then lift the hips up. And feel the breath spreading across the back, maybe between the shoulder blades. And release the hands. Come onto the forehead. And then slowly roll yourself up, sitting. Reach the arms up, just opening again. Exhale the hands together at the heart. Release the hands. Release your hips off your feet. Bringing the feet forward. Send the arms forward or up or onto your chest as we slowly lower to the ground. Once you come down, your arms rest out away from the body. The hips tuck under, legs release. Shake the legs out. If you're using a night pillow, place it on your eyes. And bring the body to stillness. Taking a deep breath through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Releasing body into ground. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing the jaw. Feeling the lips part, the tongue relax. And deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing the activity of the mind. And then finally, releasing the breath. Letting the breath come and go however it wants. It may be so shallow and so subtle, you barely can notice it. But try to notice it. Try to feel where the breath is, what movement you may notice with the inhale and with the out breath. Feel the sensation, maybe coolness or warmth. Keep letting your mind live inside the knowing of the breath. Letting your body rest into the support of the earth. Mind relaxed, body relaxed, breath relaxed. Deeply, deeply relaxed. Letting go, letting go, letting go. your heart. Move fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath. Stretch long. Put the knees into the chest. Rock gently side to side, feeling your back getting massaged by the ground. Come center, rub the hands together and the feet together. Roll over onto either side, resting your head on your underside arm. Resting your body on the ground. Resting your mind in the now. And then slowly coming up to sitting any way you're comfortable. Your head come up last. Your sit bones sink down into the earth. Your spine lift up tall toward the sky. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Inhale the heart up to the hands. Exhale, shoulders, relax them. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in. Let it all go. Drop the chin to the chest. Namaste. Thank you for your efforts.